Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. I'm Clarissa Kenty, your Kingdom Concierge. Happy Monday, everybody. It was a great day. It was a great day. It was a great day. I loved it. I was able to do a little bit outside, and actually, I started my day off at home. I had a couple of Zoom calls, and I did those on my patio, which was amazing with my chimes going in the background. It was splendid. What an awesome day. It was awesome, 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 awesome. So to God be the glory on that. Also want to go ahead and kick off tonight and give my guests from last week a big shout out. None other than Mrs. V. You already know how she does it. She came on the show on last week and she talked about an event that she used to do a lot prior to the pandemic. And guess what? She brought it back. And when I tell you, she brought that thing back big, huge, and bigger than life. Gino, guys, girls' night out. It was spectacular. It was very well attended. It was nice. I had an opportunity to be one of the speakers that night, and I was on a panel with such amazing, beautiful, powerful women, and I knew every last one of them. I didn't realize that I did until I showed up that night. I'm like, hey, I know everybody. And when I tell you it was packed out, the house was packed, and these ladies came out and we really made some really great connections. And it was good to see people that I haven't seen in a while. So it was like a little reunion. So it was really nice. Mrs. V, again, thank you for the opportunity to speak on Saturday and to be a part of this amazing event. Also, guys, those of you who missed Empowerment Word Church on yesterday. That is my church. It's where I attend church. My pastors are Pastor Sean Edwards and Lady Gwen Edwards, and they're out of town right now. And so I was asked to speak on behalf of my pastor in his stead on yesterday. And I praise God for that opportunity. If you missed that message, go on my Facebook page so you can grab that. Take a look at it, take a listen, and I pray that it will bless you real good. The name of that message on yesterday was A Dry Well Benefits No One. So hopefully you can go back there and take a listen, and I pray that it's a blessing to you. Now on tonight, oh, wait a minute. Hey, we're on the countdown to vote. We're on the countdown to vote, guys. Please make sure. Don't be that person that's like, well, I don't like either one, so I'm not going to vote. Listen, settle down. Study the people, study the candidates, and cast your vote. It's important that you do so. It's important that you make your vote count, and you need to get out there and go to the polls and vote. Like I always say, make sure if you know people who don't have rides, who don't drive, who don't have access to get there, take them. Run your own little Uber. Take people there to the polls to vote. It's important that you cast your vote because your vote counts. Vote, vote, vote. Get out there and vote. And of course, now today, I probably should have gone live and said something earlier, but today is the last day for those who are not registered to vote. Today is and was the last day. So I hope that those of you who are not registered, that you got that in, or some of our young people who maybe just turned 18 or so and have not registered, I hope and pray that you did do that. But most importantly, guys, we have to get to the polls to vote because our vote counts. On tonight, we have an excellent guest tonight. Now, this is her first time coming to the ladies' room, but I certainly pray that it's not her last time. And let me tell you, she has a symposium that's going to be coming up, guys, in November. And that symposium is going to be life-changing to so many people. And I'm so glad that she's hanging out with us tonight to discuss a little bit more about that conference. So I'm going to bring to the stage tonight, guys, let's give her a round of applause. Woo, yay! Erica Cowart. How's it going, Erica?
How are you doing, Clarissa?
I am great. I'm great. I'm so glad to have you on the show tonight and just to share some things about your symposium that you have coming up. It's called A Conversation About Abuse Symposium, and I want to just jump right on in because just the title alone intrigues me. And I'm like, okay, what is this all about? I saw your flyer. It looks like you have some powerhouses that is going to come, and they're going to come and speak at this conference. So let's just dive right in. So Erica, tell us a little bit more about your ministry, number one, more about what it's all about. I think Healing Hearts there, and let's just go into purpose of this symposium.
Amen. Well, first, good afternoon. Hello, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here. The conversation about abuse was birthed out of a testimony. my testimony. It took me 42 years to actually share in, those life experiences that I had. It started at, the age of 5, and we'll get into that. But a conversation about abuse is about 5 ladies. We get together, we share our stories, our testimonies. All of us have overcome. We live as victors and not victims that have gone through some form of abuse. We have our acronym. ABUSE stands for amazing, beautiful, unashamed, survivor, and endure. Our purpose is we try and we strive to eradicate abuse in our community. And that's all types of abuse, whether it's physical, psychological, spiritual, emotional, sexual, any type of abuse. That's our goal. Our purpose is to try to eradicate it in our community.
That is so powerful, because some things are just kind of evident when you see someone that's physically abused. You see the signs, you see the marks, you see the bruises. And rape is the same thing. Some of the things that you don't see is the psychological and the emotional abuse.
Absolutely.
And I'm interested in how many women do you see that just kind of comes by your path that you're helping and that you're getting out of these situations? Do you have a lot of those women who cross your path?
Really, we do. We have a lot of women that will come to our symposiums and they just kind of sit, they're quiet. A lot of women are not really um, to the point to where they really want to share because it's so harsh to hear the first time you say it, to say those vile things that have happened to you out loud. A lot of women have never voiced it, expressed it, have even said it, although they know internally these things have happened. But when they first hear themselves say it, then that's when we can begin to break through with those ladies. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes. So we do have a lot of women that have gone through verbal abuse. Statistics tell us that 1 in 3 women have gone through some form of abuse, and
Mm,
1 in 6 male have gone through some form of abuse in their lifetime.
right.
So we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, yeah. The symposium that you have coming up, I believe it's first weekend in November. I believe that this is going to definitely be a powerful symposium. My question for you, Erica, is if you have some women that come, or men that come to this symposium and they're in distress and they're saying, "Hey, I'm in this situation, don't know how to get out of it, but I need to get out of it. Can you help me?" Are you prepared, or do you have groups that are prepared to help women immediately get out of troubling situations?
Yes.
Mm,
Yes, we do. We partnered with several ministries. One is One Place, is over on the south side,
okay.
Salvation Army, the YWCA. And we have another ministry that is kind of private because when women and men are running and leaving out of these situations, they're running for their lives. So they don't need to be found, you know. So we do have a team of women that are working with us, and we have a team of women that can get those resources to male or female if
Right.
they need them.
Okay, very good. And so, who are the women that you're targeting to come? Is there a certain age group that you're looking at to come? What is too young to come to this symposium?
Nobody's too young.
Okay.
Nobody's too young, and nobody's too old.
Okay.
Trauma likes to be coddled. And when you're dealing with people that have gone through trauma, like I said, a lot of them haven't even dealt with it.
Mhm.
We dressed up, but we messed up.
Right.
We dressed up, but we messed up. We have been taught to be strong women, but we don't deal with that particular thing. So no, there is nobody's too young, nobody's too old.
Right.
We do know how to censor our conversation a little bit and turn it for tender ears,
Right.
but
Right.
a lot of those children have gone through traumatic experiences,
Yes.
um, and they need help as well because they feel like nobody's listening. I felt like that.
Mm.
I felt like that. I felt like nobody really was listening. Nobody was paying attention. I feel like I was reaching out and, I was doing all these adult things. And you know how people in our community say, oh, you just grown. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fast, but I was like adult-ish.
Right.
And that was because adult things were happening to me by
Mm.
two men at the same time.
Mm.
And because those things were happening, I just said, you know what, God, I can't do this no more. I believe death would be better than living through this.
Right.
It went on for 2 years. My mother did not know this. And it went on for 2 years. I was sitting at the table, and I have like five sisters, so it's a lot of girls. And I was, you have ibuprofen sitting around because you have girls there. My mother
Right.
never thought I would sit at the table and take 17 of them. And I was just taking them and I was writing. I don't know what I was writing, but I was writing. And I got to 17 and I heard the Lord say, call your mother.
Mm.
I know there nobody in the house but me. But I heard the Lord say,
Right.
call your mother. And I called my mom. And I said, Mama. And she immediately knew something was wrong by the way I said, Mama.
Right.
She took, we had to go through, the hospital and pump my stomach and all those things. And she said, Erica, why did you do this? And I lied to her and I said, Mom, it's just too much pressure at school. It had absolutely nothing to do with school. It was
Mm.
because these things were going on. And I was just like, this has to stop. I don't know how to make it stop. I was
Mm-hmm.
saying to the perpetrator, okay, if you're going to do this to me, just don't touch my sisters. Don't bother my sisters. I'll
Mm.
take it so my sisters can have peace.
Right.
Well, at the age of 46, that's when I found out that it was happening to my sisters as well.
Mm.
And it sent me back to a place that I thought I had dealt with. I was triggered again. That is one thing that we discuss in our session or our symposium.
Right.
We have a panel discussion and we talk about triggers. You don't know all of your triggers. It is a process learning your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how not to react when I hear things like this.
Right.
I've always been a protector of my sisters. I've always been a warrior. I've been the fighter. No, you're not going to do this. And to hear that, it sent me back to a place I thought God had delivered me from.
Mm.
And I needed some help. I could hear my sisters praying for me. My spirit could. My flesh was ready to take somebody's head off. So it took my sisters praying, Erica, please, and they calling out, calling on God. They calling to my spirit, Erica, come back. Because I had lost it,
Mm.
especially when I found out about my sisters. And you still have to go around family members that have done these things to you. It's never just one person. And usually it comes out when that person dies.
Right.
And cousins and friends and things like that. Everybody. It's like, what? Why didn't you say anything? And now the elders are like, how did I miss it?
Mm.
How did I miss it? It's a bunch of girls in our family, a lot of girls in our family. And when I talked to a lot of them had gone through that. And it was just a lot to digest at that particular time.
Mm.
We have counselors. We have a clinical psychologist that works with us
Yeah.
um, because we were told growing up in our community, you don't tell what's going on in my house. Go sitting on the couch talking to a counselor or a therapist. You didn't do that because
Right.
you were deemed crazy. Something's wrong with you. No, some of us need to sit on the couch. I have to sit on the couch.
Right.
It was a process for me. I was able to get on the altar. Everybody is not able to do that. It's a process and it is a long process. It's not going to go away in one session. It
Right.
won't go away in two sessions because at that point, you're still learning your triggers. You're still learning how to deal with your triggers. You're still trying to remember things that happened to you. I had blocked so many things out and it just started coming out. I was like, oh my God, I remember this. I remember this. I remember that. I forgot that. And once I started sharing my story with different ones and sharing and talking about it, I was able to receive healing in different places. But that doesn't happen with everybody.
Right.
That doesn't happen with everybody. I'm open with my testimony. My sisters are not. So I have to respect their privacy, although they work this ministry with me.
Right.
So I have to give them their time. And when they're ready to share, they sit in the sessions. I have to make sure they're okay because I don't want them triggered. They have triggers as well. So we have to make sure that I'm checking on them because, like I said, my mother told me, you don't let anything happen to your sisters. You all stick together.
Right.
You're the oldest. You make sure they're okay. And I took that to heart, and that's what I know. And we all are adults now. We had one sister pass away, and she wrote a book that was called Help, I Am Breach.
Mm.
And we really wasn't expecting her to, of course, you don't expect people to die, but she
Right.
died before I bought the book. So I'm reading the book
Mm.
after she passed away in the process of going through grief. And it was too much. It was a lot. Had I
Mm.
known my sister was going through that,
Yeah.
had I known she was going through that, that is the only way that we were able to get her testimony. She refers to the perpetrator as the beast.
Mm.
I refer to them as the monster.
Oh.
Okay.
Mm.
One of the perpetrators, in my case, passed away. The other is still living. And he came to us and apologized to us and allowed us to say, I'm going to say me and two other sisters. One sister don't want to hear it. Apologized to us. And I'm saying, God, I don't really want to forgive this person.
Right.
But this forgiveness is not for them. It's for me. It is for my sisters. It is for us. It's for the other young ladies that was in the house with us.
Mm.
It's for our cousins. So it wasn't just for me being I guess, the catalyst.
Right.
It was hard to do at first, but I'm out here now. And to see the women that are coming forth, sharing their stories, that didn't have a platform to share their stories, did not have a safe place to share their stories and to get help. And then there are other women there that are able to, they can lean on because it's strength in numbers.
Right.
Not only that, we have men that are in our sessions that have gone through sexual, physical, psychological, verbal abuse, that have gone through these things too. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens is we will have a young lady that may be 14, 15 years old. And if a 30-year-old man is trying to get with her or he gets with her and he's intimate with this girl, we're going to crucify him. We're going to put him in jail. We're going to burn him at the stake. We want him under the jail. We want him to die.
Right.
But there are so many young men, grown men, that are messing around, that are 14, 15, 16 years old, messing with grown women.
Mm.
Grown women. And they get a high five. It's a
Right.
badge of honor. No, she's a pedophile.
Right.
She's sick if she's looking at a young man that is not legal and she's intimate with him.
Mm.
So I question that a lot. And it was research. I had to listen, learn not to react to things like that. But those are some of the things that we talk about in our symposiums. We don't leave anything uncovered. We allow one or two ladies to share their stories. And these are ladies that are on the team. It is a very, very, very small space. It's an intimate space. We don't allow cameras because you don't know where people are running from.
That's right. That's
We
right.
do not allow people to go live because you don't know who's sitting in the audience. You don't know their story. So we don't allow that. I do not allow that at all, because you do not know what a person needs. This could be the day that they were going to take their life, and we're here, and they say, "Oh, you know what? Because of you all, I can do this. I can do this. It's strength in numbers. I can do this. You all have encouraged me to live another day. We've done what God has asked us to do. If we can just save one person, we've done what God has commissioned us to do."
Right. Right. So the panelists that you have that's going to be speaking on that day, who are these women, and what can we expect to hear from them on that day?
All right. Well, these are our panelists.
Okay.
And our panelists consist of, we have Sister Trinae Bailey. She's actually my pastor's sister. My pastor is the Florence Cookie Bailey of Christ Temple Deliverance Church.
Okay.
And you know, I had to put that out there.
That's right. That's right.
She's her sister, and she will be sharing her story with us. Powerful woman. I mean, I didn't know all of that was in her until just this year. And she's been in ministry all her life, but now God has put her in a place to where the floodgates are open. She's going to be a blessing. We have our brother Jerome Cowart. Now, we have the same last name because I'm married to that wonderful man.
Okay.
I'm married to that wonderful man. Okay, we have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. So
Awesome.
I'm married to that wonderful man. He's going to be sharing his story.
Mm,
He's gone through some things, mostly verbal, and I really wanted his aspect on it,
right. Right.
because he didn't go through the church like I did. Church was not his go-to. It was
Mm,
my thing. So I wanted to hear a different perspective on how did you do this. I want the other women and men that are sitting in there to hear from a male. We have Prophet Tiffany Cameron. She's also my mentor. She has a group called VOV, Vessels of Victory. She wants us to live, and she's going to be sharing her story as well. So we have a variety of people that will be sharing their testimonies, their stories. We have questions that we'll be able to ask the panelists. We have a clinical psychologist, and he's not on the
okay.
flyer, but he will be there. And he gives us books and statistics and ways to deal with it as far as counseling and going to see a psychologist. He helps us in that area. And
Right.
then we have those that, you know, just deal with it the way that they dealt with it. We have those like me that got it on the altar, but there's no right or wrong way to be delivered. There's no right or wrong way to progress in your walk.
Right.
It's all trauma. We've all gone through some form of trauma,
Mm,
and we need help. We need to know how to live and be our best selves. But we
right.
got to take one step. If we just make the effort, make the effort, God will do the rest. He'll send somebody and put somebody in your path
Mhm.
that'll help you walk this thing on out.
Erica, I have a question for you, and I'm not sure if you mentioned this or not, but how do you feel about counseling for people who have been through traumatic times in their life? There's traumas there, there's triggers there. Um, how do you feel about people who have experienced these types of traumatic situations to go through counseling? How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think that is great. I think it is necessary. I think it is one of the best things that you can do if you've gone through trauma, whether it's spiritual, whether it is financial, emotional, psychological, verbal, sexual, physical. I think counseling is one of the best resources that we have to become a better person, to
Mm,
become a better us. In our community, we shun it.
right.
It does not make you crazy. does not make you that. At this point, if it is something that happened to you in your childhood, something that happened to you in your life, and it is running your life or ruining your life, and you're not able to get past it, go talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it is it is good in some cases to go talk to somebody that you do not know,
Yeah.
because they don't have that kind of influence. They don't know anything other than what you tell them. So their opinion and what they tell you is not
Right.
biased.
Right. That's
It's not
right.
biased.
And the good thing about it too, what a lot of people don't realize, you have your coaches and then you have counselors. And when I say counselors, I'm speaking of certified licensed counselors. And so
Yes.
the difference between the two is that coaches coach you to where you want to be or where you're headed. Counselors deal with situations that keep you from moving forward. And so they are trained to kind of pull out, ask you the right questions to kind of see where you are. They have diagnosis for why you are where you are, why you feel the way
Yes.
you feel when certain things happen. And so a lot of times when you're in a situation, you need to have another perspective because it's hard for you to be inside of a sinking boat because you can't see anything other than the water coming in the boat. But when there are people on land watching and people in another boat, they can say, hey, if you get out and jump over here, I can see the distance. I can see if you can get here, or I can see there's a lifeboat here, life jacket, or one of those lifesavers out somewhere. And so it's perspective. And so, and I would just admonish anybody because Erica, I love your spirit. I love what God is doing for you, what he's doing through you. And by you being in a space to say, hey, I have the help that I need. Now I want to help somebody else. And so by doing that, you're saying, hey, this is a safe space. This is what God wants from you, for you. He wants you to be free. He wants you to be delivered. He wants that ball and chain to be disconnected from your ankle so that you can go to places where you need to go in him. And so I'm excited about this symposium. I believe that you're going to help so many people. My desires for those who are listening, please share this with your network of friends. Make
Yes.
sure you get this to your network. Take this live, grab this link, share it. Put it in your face groups, put it on your Facebook page, take this link, text it out to people, text it to as many people as you can. My page is open because we want to make sure that we're getting this symposium out to people who are going through stuff right now, who need a space that they can call safe. And so I believe that this symposium is going to do that. And a lot of times when you're in situations, you're thinking, I'm the only one in this situation. Nobody knows what I'm experiencing. Nobody can attest to what I'm going through. But you have people who are going to be on this panel who've gone through what you're going through right now, who've dealt with the things that you're dealing with right now. And they're on the other side saying that I can get through it. You can too.
Yes.
So that's what I like, Erica. And I hope I'm not offending you by calling you Erica. I know you're Evangelist Erica, so I hope I'm
Oh,
not offending you in any way. But I really want to, yes, Mario, definitely share the poster as well. Share both information and
he
if
is the
anybody.
psychologist. Mario Brown,
Oh,
he's
he's
Dr.
okay. Okay. Hey,
He's
Mario,
like,
if you can share that
yes.
poster or share the flyer, if you will, inside this live. So go down into the comments where you're making comments now, drop that poster inside or drop that flyer inside this live feed and then share it out to your network. That way they have more in-depth information that the flyer can't give about the symposium, and then learning more about the host, and then they can get the logistical information from the flyer itself. So good idea. Thanks, Mario, on that. But if you're not listening to this live, if you're listening on the replay, share it because we have to help people. We talk about high blood pressure being a silent killer, and it is, but
Mhm.
also abuse. People are dying physically, psychologically, and emotionally in situations every single day where they feel have no way of escape. So we have to share this, guys, because we don't know who that may be. I got 6,000 followers on my page. Somebody in that 6,000 is going to need this symposium. Somebody's going to need it. And so we have to think that way with all of our followers and all of our networks. And yes, Tiffany, it is a safe place. It is a no judgment zone. We don't have time in this season to judge anybody. We
She's
don't.
the other panelist.
Yes, I remember you saying her name. And Tiffany is powerful. I have heard Tiffany. Tiffany is powerful. And so
Yes,
she don't play the radio, as they say.
No,
So
she
it's telling you that, guys, if you know of anybody or if you are that person, get to this symposium. Now, Erica, do you have to RSVP for this, or can you just show up at the event?
You can show up at the event.
Okay,
Just
very
show up
good.
at the event because we want women to come from near and far. We have that day. It's actually November 2nd. We're starting at noon. We have gifts we're going to be giving away, nice gifts. Everybody leaves with a gift.
Okay.
We will have lunch that day. We'll have a light lunch. And then we will have the conversation. Conversation consists of triggers.
Right.
How do you deal with abuse? And then, like I said, there are different facets of abuse and there are different triggers for different facets of abuse. One that we really focus on is domestic or physical. And the question is asked quite often, why don't you leave? Why you don't leave? Why you keep going back?
Right.
I done help you. I done help you 1,000 times and you keep going back. Well, statistics say you leave 7 to 10 times before you leave. Okay. A lot of these women going through financial abuse, the husband has all the money. They have these little children. And they, okay, I can know how to survive in this abuse here. I can't have my children in a shelter and I don't know these people. My children are here. He has to take care of my children. I don't have anything. And a lot of them,
I want to go back to something.
Okay.
Because this is a term that you don't hear much of, and that's financial abuse. I want to talk about that for a minute. And Tiffany, thank you so much for your kind words. Love you, my sister. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to go back to that because that's something we don't hear. And you said financial abuse. Let's do a deep dive in that quickly because I was about to wrap up. When you said that, I was like, let's go. Let us talk about that because there may be more women in financial abuse than what they realize. In my mind, I'm thinking this is where the husbands are the breadwinners and the women either bringing little to no money in or they're not working and they are their home care, they're taking care of the home and the children.
Or
they're
the only ones
right in saying that.
Or they are the only ones working and they're bringing the money home and the husband does nothing. He takes her money and does what he wants to do. And
so there's two sides to this.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I've heard a lot of women talk about that. And you would be surprised the number of women that are sitting in the church going through that. And they're silent. They're silent because they have to keep up this facade and this front. And they'll slip a note and say, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I can't say anything. Or you get these texts at night. Pray for me. Pray for my daughter. He's with my daughter. He's with our daughter. Yes. Or you have a young man that comes to you and mom is essaying him, if I can say it that way. And she's telling him, oh, I'm teaching you how to treat a woman. But she's taken the very thing that is supposed to be sacred and perverted it. So now he hates women. He hates women because of what happened to him. Oh, it goes deep. It goes deep. Yes, it goes deep. Yes, I mean very, very deep. So let's go back to the financial abuse. Um, they can't leave. They're afraid to leave. They know how to survive over here in this dysfunction. They don't know what's ahead. So when she does leave that seventh, eighth, ninth, or 10th time, she's leaving with the clothes on her back.
Mm.
She's running for her life. She has nothing. Her children have nothing. And she's afraid to go to her family because he's threatened her so much that he's going to kill her, the children, family members. It is, and that's where what psychological come in, emotional, verbal. It is so many different things that a male or female needs, especially, and I'm going to say female, needs when she's coming out of a situation like that.
Right.
That's why we have to have a team of
Mm.
women to deal with different facets of this because one person can't deal with all of that
Right.
and their trauma too. So we have to have other people that work. We have to have prayer warriors behind us. We
Right.
have to have other people like the other panelists, Pastor Xanthia Turner, and it is her church. We'll be there. And she's really, really, you've got to meet her. I promise you'll love her. You all kind of remind me of each other.
I gotta be it.
Yes. But she is very, I mean, down to earth, very just, here it is.
Mm.
Here it is. But she has a lot of wisdom with it. So she's not going to sugarcoat it. But she gives us the wisdom. Oh, okay, now this is the best way to handle this.
Mm.
I've seen that. I've gone through that. This is what we need to do
Right.
here. This is what you need to do here, Erica. You can't do all of that by yourself. Because I've tried to do it all myself. And it becomes too much.
Right.
It becomes
Right.
too much. But I'm thankful for the ladies that are on the team with me. I am thankful for my sisters working in ministry with me. I'm also thankful that my mom is able to see because her prayer was us working together in ministry,
Mm-hmm.
especially after my other sister passed away.
Right.
I am thankful that my husband allows me to do these things, and he's very supportive, and he's coming along to actually share um, with us
Mm.
some of his life experiences. Everybody don't get that. And I'm thankful for that. I'm
Yeah.
thankful for this platform.
Mm.
I can talk about this all night
Well, I'm
because it has become a passion.
it's something that, especially when you're sharing the things that you're sharing and the different dynamics of abuse, is captivating, and it keeps people's attention with what you're saying, because I'm sure that there are people listening and that will listen later on tonight and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm in an abusive relationship and didn't know it." Because the manipulation is so strong that some people are being abused and have no idea that they're being abused. And that's why I believe that this symposium is so important for those of you who are going through things, for those who think you may be going through things, those of you who just need information so you can take what Erica is doing and take this symposium to your church. Bring this symposium. I don't want to just say this is what you're doing, but she may travel, y'all. I
Oh,
just
we
believe
travel.
this
We may
information
travel.
is good, because I believe this information is vital, and I think it's going to help people be able to navigate a way of escape for what they're dealing with and what they're going through. And so, Erica, as we finish up tonight, usually what I do is that I will bring my guest in front and center by themselves for a moment on the live, and I will ask them to give a word of inspiration. And so tonight, Erica, if you could speak to that woman, to that man who is experiencing some form of abuse, but they're afraid to step out, how would you encourage them to step out, change, come to this symposium so they can be given a way of escape? How would you minister and give them a word of encouragement tonight?
The first thing that I would say to them is, it is not your fault. None of this is your fault. Um, I would tell you to talk to someone that you trust. All the time, we don't want to go to our pastor. We don't want to go to somebody that's clergy. Find someone to talk to you. You can get past this. You can make it. It is better on the other side. It is cloudy right now, but the sun is shining above the clouds. If you could just get past right here, if you can just make one step, just one step. If you could just make one step, one, God to be right there for you. He'll lead you to the person that you need to talk to. He'll lead you to the counselor that's just for you. He'll lead you in the right path. He'll put the right person there for you that'll walk this thing all the way out for you. So I want you to be encouraged in what you're going through. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. And when I say be encouraged, I want you to be encouraged to make a change. To change. You don't have to. You don't have to stay. You don't have to. I know sometimes it seems like it is too much or you don't see your way through. There is a other side, and you can make it to the other side. You can. Had it not been the Lord that was on my side, I was in that place. And being a survivor myself, I can tell you, you can make it. You can make it. That is my word of encouragement tonight. You can make it.
Amen. I love it. You can make it.
You can make it.
This is not coming from someone, guys, that just is reading about this thing or just because she has a desire. This is someone who's actually walked the walk personally. And when you can hear somebody who's been through what you've been through and they can say on the other side that you can make it, then you know you can put your stamp of approval on something like that. So, Erica, I personally want to thank you for your transparency. I want to thank you for allowing this platform, putting these efforts into place, and being aggressive about helping other men and women find a way of escape. Thank you again so much. Before we end tonight, if you can just let everyone know again where exactly the symposium is going to be and what time it's going to be and where it's going to be.
All right. It is going to be at Bread of Life World Outreach Ministries. The address is 1893 Floyd Bradford Road, Trussville, Alabama 35173. It is going to start promptly at 12 noon with our, we open up with prayer. It's going to start at 12. We'll have our conversation. We'll talk. We'll have a couple ladies to share their stories. And then we'll go back into our panel. Starts at 12. I think I said that. Yeah. Yes. I think I said that.
All right. Sounds good, guys. And you're feeding people too. So there's a light lunch that will be there,
Light
guys.
lunch.
It's just
Oh,
going to be a nice
the
time.
attire. The attire.
Yes.
The attire. Come very, very comfortable. Very comfortable. We do not dress up. We don't do all of that because we don't want a woman to feel like she can't come because she don't have the right attire or she don't have the right dress. We wear jeans, we wear t-shirts, we wear fatigues, we wear t-shirts. Just come as you are. If you don't want to say anything, you don't. If you just want to listen and observe, that's fine. We have ladies that come and they just sit. They cry during the whole thing and then they get up and leave. We never get a chance to really talk to them. It is a safe space. It is a no judgment zone. Nothing leaves that room. I am absolute about that. I do not allow that. There will be no cameras. There will be no recording. There will be no going live. We don't do any of that there because we have to protect the women that come in. Everybody is not out like I am. Everybody's not ready to share like I do and the ladies that are on the team. So you don't have to worry about that. We won't force you. If you don't say a word, you're still a part of us and we want you to come get the resources. We have resources on where you can go to get help. We have our resources on where you can go to grab food, whatever it is that you need. We have those resources there. We give you materials, we have question and answers. So we have all of those things that will be there for you whenever you need them. My number is 205 259 8989. 205 259 8989. My email is Erica, Erika, the letter CWILL at yahoo.com. If you cannot call or you're afraid to call, just text me. Shoot me a email if you're able to do that. Whichever way that you're able to get some kind of communication to me, let me know. Get it to me as soon as you can. You need help, let us know. We have a young lady that works with us that really deals with sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So that is another avenue that we had to go into because it is so prevalent now. It's in the media, so it's out there. We have to deal with it. We rescued a girl last year that had been in sex trafficking for like 10 years. 10 years. So we're working, we're moving. You need us to come to your city, come to your church, come to your event.
Yes.
We are ready to come. We're ready to share. We are really a down to earth group of ladies, and all of us have gone through some form of abuse. So everybody there has gone through, and everybody walks in victory now.
I love it. I love it. There you have it, guys. Oh, I want to give a big shout out to Pastor Holman. Pastor
Yes.
Holman, amazing pastor. I've been to his church a couple of times and women's conferences he's had, and I think I've spoken at his church once or twice. But I want to thank him again for his support. He's always supporting the Ladies Room Talk Show. He did give us a shout out, so thank you so much, Pastor Holman. We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Pastor.
Yes. All right,
My
guys.
husband is listening. I want to say hello to my husband. Hello.
Oh, he was the first one to pop in, Erica.
Oh, I'm glad
He
he
was the
popped
first
in.
one.
Thank you for popping in. Me and you against the world.
I love it. I love it. That's the power couple right there. That's what I'm talking about. I
That's
love
it.
it. And I know you guys are really doing a great thing in the community. Y'all just keep doing what you're doing and keep doing it together. That's powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm so excited about what you guys are doing. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Erica. It was great. Thank you for your time. And as we said before, if you're just joining us, share this on your live. This is an important live that we're doing here in the Ladies Room Talk Show. This can possibly save someone's life. So get this live over to your network, share it on your network, take the link, share it out with your people on texting and inbox, and however you get this information out, share it, because it's important that we get this information to the hands of the people who need it. So again, thank you so much for joining us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. I'm Clarissa Kenty, and we got another special edition that's going to come out on Wednesday of this week. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get closer to Wednesday. But again, thank you so much for joining us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. Have a wonderful, safe rest of the week. Good night.
Step into the ladies' room with Clarissa.